The awards watch lists have come out. I've
Yes.
only seen a couple. You might have seen more than me. I saw the Outland Trophy. Christian Miller is a candidate in the or on the watch list, I should say. The Maxwell, Nate Frazier was on the
Nate
watch
Frazier's
list
on it?
for the Maxwell. I was like, okay. Wait, so I assume Doak Walker hasn't come out because he would probably be on there if you're up there for best offensive player in the country. But yeah, and then I think you said that Nagurski came out too.
Yeah, the Nagurski came out. There are a bunch of Georgia players on there.
So who is it? Everett, Bolden, CJ Allen, and Christian Miller
Yes.
on that list.
Georgia having 4, I believe, it's either the most or it's tied for the most of any school.
I'll be honest. I think as a Georgia fan, I think we've I'm not going to say it's an inferiority complex, but there's a chip on our shoulder for a long time. You know, we feel like the media doesn't give us enough credit. You know, it's like, oh, they're not talking about us enough. Our guys don't, you know. I think this year might be the first year that I think we're kind of getting the benefit of the doubt. I think, did Georgia have 4 defensive players on first team All SEC in the media? Like, I was kind of shocked by that.
Something like that, yeah.
I feel like it's maybe the logo is giving them a little more love than they deserve. But not that I don't think Christian Miller could be great this year. I just think there's, and I don't necessarily know who the more proven defensive linemen are more deserving of him or anything, but I don't know. Dalen Everett. I'm not sure Dalen Everett is where does Dalen Everett stack up against like Kamari Lassiter and Eric Stokes and Keely Ringo or something. Like, I don't know that he's as good as any of those guys.
I think he's I think he's a better college player than Ringo was for sure.
You think so?
Yeah. Kamari Lassiter, probably not. Eric Stokes, that's about even. But like I mean Dalen Everett is like one of the best corners in college football. I think his body of work, like he's seen it all, man. And that might be the most valuable skill other than just being athletic when it comes to playing corner. So I don't know. I'm a pretty big Dalen Everett guy, actually. So
okay.
That's just me personally, though.
Yeah, Kamari Lassiter is probably unfair because I think Kamari Lassiter might be the best corner Kirby's had. I mean, DeAndre Baker won
He's one of the better corners in the NFL now.
Kamari Lassiter is just a dog. But I don't know. I feel like, you know, we're fans. I'm not the big X's and O's guy. It felt like lots of times when Georgia's giving up a big play in the pass game, it's Dalen Everett's guy catching it. And maybe that was more 2023 than it was 2024. You know, maybe I'm not giving him credit for how much better he got last year, because that was kind of the case with Tyson Campbell too, as a true freshman. And then he kind of, you know, came into his own and was basically a first round pick, right? Like the second or third pick of the second round. So maybe Dalen Everett, you know, becomes that guy. I'm not giving enough credit. I mean, there's not many corners you can just think of kind of taking over 2 individual games. So, you know, I guess you got to give him credit for that. He kind of single-handedly beat Texas twice.
Yeah. I just think that for Dalen, it's like, I do get it. Like he does give up a lot of big plays, but I think that's just kind of comes with the territory of playing corner in the SEC. I mean, you're guarding you're guarding the best guys in college football, basically. And it's just like, I don't know, man. I feel like maybe this isn't fair for me to say. Maybe it's not fair for me to start throwing hypotheticals out there, but I just feel like there aren't that many guys that would do a better job than Dalen Everett, you know, with the responsibilities that they give him on defense. And I just think corner in general is like, people say this about QBs a lot, but I really think it applies even more to corners. Is like, that's a position where if you mess up, you get your name blows up all over Twitter. You get called a football terrorist, this, that, and the third. But when you lock your guy up and, you know, you only get targeted 1 or 2 times in a whole game, it just doesn't get talked that much about by fans. And I think Dalen Everett does a good job of that. I think Dalen Everett just cornerback, and I would say is like, unless you're just getting interceptions left and right, I feel like it's just kind of a thankless position, or it's a position where like you got to kind of be a stat nerd and a film nerd and an analytics nerd to really be able to get in the nitty gritty of what makes the best corners great, because it's not a position. I mean, counting stats in football in general, I just don't think paint the full picture of how good a guy is, but especially for corners, like you're not going to look at like tackles and interceptions or even like PBUs to like tell you how good a corner is. It's a lot more based on like the eye test and advanced numbers that most fans just don't really care about. So
yeah, and even the PFF grades, even if the PFF grades, until I see them, like I don't even know.
PFF does not know how to grade coverage.
Yeah,
like, PFF coverage grades suck.
And Kirby clowned him. Was it like last year that he was kind of explicit? Like,
I don't like PFF at all.
But yeah,
what did Kirby say?
I can't remember exactly, but he I feel like he was kind of like that's trash or something. I don't look at that or something. I can't remember. I think he specifically said something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, well, according to the Google AI.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. This is from November 2021. Kirby Smart goes, I don't know what analytics you're going by. I think those are a joke, really, personally. When we go talk to NFL scouts, they laugh at PFF or whatever the source may be. Wow. A lot of times, PFF is a guy that works at another job during the day, and that's just his second job to chart whether Darion Kendrick or Nakobe Dean did their job. That's pretty on the nose, man. I think there are a lot of really good metrics you can use, but PFF is just not one of them.
It's funny because my buddy who's a big Florida fan just hated PFF forever. Like as far as college, like I think in pros, you know, when you're facing similar competition, I think you know, and who knows how their grading system works, but it's at least a little more, maybe it's a little more fair. But he's shit on PFF forever. And so then I remember once Kirby hated on it, we were like, oh, I guess you were right all these years, you know? But yeah, so it's, I don't remember how we even started talking about, with Dalen Everett.
This is what happens when you talk about cornerback play. It gets weird, man.
Yeah. And maybe and corners are always my favorite players growing up. I've always said like Woodson and Champ Bailey, like those are my like all-time favorite players. Maybe I'm judging him unfairly because I'm naming other dudes like Kamari Lassiter. Eric Stokes was a borderline like Thorpe Award winner that year. Like his 2020 year was amazing.
He was like insane that year.
And he had multiple touchdowns too. Like Eric Stokes, I feel like kind of gets overlooked of how good he really was. But yeah, so we're judging it with the corners that Kirby has had. It's like Alabama teams. You know, they're constantly judged. I don't know if this team's as good as 2012. It's like, well, they don't have to play 2012 Alabama. So in 2016, they just have to be as good as all those other teams, you know? Yeah. So it's kind of like now Georgia players are getting judged by previous great Georgia players. And I'm excited. And I admit that people know more than I do. So I hope everyone is right that Dalen Everett is this first team All-SEC potential first round pick kind of guy.
Yeah, I will say to your kind of wider point before we derailed the conversation, I was like, you know, Georgia might be getting a little bit more benefit of the doubt from the media. Like you said, like, I do think that's probably true. I think there's a lot more projection involved with this year's Georgia team and its impact players. Like, you know, in years past, there were guys on the roster that you could kind of point at before the season and be like, okay, like, Brock Bowers is going to be an All-American, or like, you know, Jordan Davis is going to be an All-American, or even guys like Malachi Starks, guys like that. But it's like there are guys now that could become that kind of player who have that talent, and you know, we know they have it, and the coaching staff has said they have it, but they just don't have the body of work on the field yet. So you know, you're not really going off of established production from these guys. You're projecting what they could do. So I don't think that means Georgia has a bunch of like super overrated players, and you know, we'll be looking back at the preseason All-SEC first team list and being like, wow, what a joke, which maybe we will, but I don't really think that's the case. But I do think you might have to be just using your imagination a little bit for these.
I think that's true. And I think that's fair to do preseason predictions and you do project a little bit. And it's also another guy we're judging. I'm probably subconsciously judging based on other Georgia players is KJ Bolden. It's like I just saw Malachi Starks basically do the exact same thing, but just be better. But it's like you don't have to be as good as Malachi Starks as a freshman to then be like an All-SEC All-American projection as a sophomore. You can be – he was just that good as a freshman. Yeah. So KJ Bolden, if I'm judging him, is he as good as Malachi Starks? Yeah, maybe not, but that doesn't mean he's not an all SEC player because Malachi Starks is a rare talent.
Yeah, I mean the two guys on there that I would really like probably feel the best about having. Well, maybe not the two guys because CJ Allen also is someone who have started for a couple years now, but like Dalen Everett this will be his third year starting, so I feel like he's a pretty known commodity at this point. And then KJ Bolden also started for a whole year and just like has so much room to get better, you know? So it's like, yes, we are at the end of the day projecting a sophomore leap for KJ Bolden, but like try to watch his freshman year tape and not see something insane in there, you know? Because
especially because he's one of those guys. There's a lot of guys like that's what's so crazy about like Jeremiah Smith is like usually these phenom freshmen don't have the NFL body already. And like Jeremiah Smith was an NFL body as a freshman. Like KJ Bolden, he was still really raw for like how good he was as a freshman. Like once that guy, I don't know, puts on another 10, 15 pounds of muscle in Georgia's weight training room, like I'm sure he's going to take his game to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely.
And CJ Allen, it's hard for Georgia fans to get that excited about CJ Allen when we're just like, really like Chris Cole and Justin Williams and Raylan Wilson too. It's like I love them all.
We don't even know what position Chris Cole is yet. His position is football. But yeah, no, I agree. CJ Allen is like, I guess, just because it's again that thing where we've seen CJ Allen start for 2 years. We know how good of a player CJ Allen is. But like Justin Williams and Chris Cole are like mystery box players where it's like, oh, he could be even better. And it's like
it could even be a boat.
Yeah, it could be a boat. Like, and it's not reasonable to project a guy to be better than CJ Allen because CJ Allen is like really freaking good, man. But
yeah,
I guess that's kind of where it comes from. Is just there's always that excitement of the unknown that doesn't exist when a guy's already started for 2 years.
For sure, and I think that's maybe the one I'm thinking the logo is helping the most. That it's like if you're the best linebacker at Georgia, yeah, you're probably first team All SEC. Some media people might just assume that, and it's probably a fair assumption.
LBU.
For sure. And no disrespect to anyone trying to go out there and get a dope single digit, but CJ Allen is a number 33. I'm sorry. That's just I really liked him number 33. He's rocking the single digit. I don't think it fits, but do you get your single digit on? But
he can wear whatever number he wants if he's an All-American.
He gives me more Odell Thurman, Donnell vibe.
I a little bit agree with that. We were just talking about Monty Rice. Like he rocked that 32,
Yeah.